does that rack stand up as far as career longs for you, and how big of a moment was that for you, even in just a practice scenario?
It felt great. That's probably the furthest ball I've hit in a practice. I think in game in high school, my furthest was about 51 yards. So, a big moment for me. And obviously, it goes back to the whole operation and the guys blocking up front. So, very grateful that they did a great job because that's all required to get that kick up and through the uprights.
How did that operation sort of come together? I know there's still some moving parts there too, as far as probably guys moving in and out and doing some different things. But was that something that came together pretty naturally for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we worked so much over the summer. I can't even count how many reps we did. And, I've gotten work with Sam Dubwig as my holder. I've gotten reps with Jack as my holder. I've gotten reps with both snappers. So I really have experience with all guys at this point, and I trust that they're always going to do their job. So every time I step out on that field, it's no doubt that they're going to do what they need to do in order for me to succeed. And it's just a trust that we've built throughout our work.
Some kickers have real distance and some don't. Have you always thought that is like a strength of your game?
I would say I've always thought I've had a pretty strong natural leg. Going back to my soccer days, I was a goalkeeper, so coaches would use me on my goal kicks and stuff. So I always knew I had a pretty big leg, and it's really just when you get out to those far distances, making sure that you're doing the same thing and you're staying consistent with your technique, because every kick's a straight kick, and the same kick as a PAT is the same kick as 60 yards. You got to put it down the middle, and it's the same thing every time.
What are some areas you feel like you and the rest of the special teams unit have improved on this week in fall camp?
This week, I definitely say the consistency. That's definitely what our coaches have been striving for us to do better in the most, and that comes with time and practice, and it goes back to the summer. Like I was saying, we do all that work together, and just putting those reps in, and the more we do it, the more it just becomes like a daily job, and I definitely think we made a stride in that this week.
Tell us your path from Stores to West Lafayette, how it all developed.
Yeah, so I was in the portal. I didn't really know what to expect going in there, being a guy with no game film. So Coach Thompson hit me up on Twitter, and we had a connection from high school actually, because he recruited me at West Virginia. So that was one of the first camps I went to as a high school kid. And he messaged me, we started talking, and very quickly the interest rose, and I sort of got in contact with Coach Shebist. He was telling me he wanted to get me here on a visit, and the big thing for me was it's always been my dream to play at the highest level of football that I can. So an opportunity to come compete for a spot in the Big Ten, it was a no-brainer for me.
I know Coach Mora had some good things to say about social media, right? Can you recall that?
Yeah. He put out a very nice tweet for me, and we had a very good relationship, and he was a great coach for me. And we kind of sat down and had a meeting with my plan to go into the portal, and we kind of went over everything, and he said he was going to do everything that he could to help me. So I was grateful for his support, and he definitely played a part in me being here.
What's the competition like between you and Spencer?
I will say, for two guys competing, I think we're about as good of friends as you can be as a guy you're competing with. It's like we can go laugh in the locker room. We come out here, we're competing, and, no matter what, we have each other's backs. If we miss a kick, it's like, all right, go make the next one, like you got it. And then if we make our kicks, we celebrate together. So we kind of take the highs and lows, and we all, we're a team. So we all want to be better and get better, and we want the same thing for sure. But, it's just pushing each other, and the competition is great. It's totally a healthy environment, and it's about as good of a situation as you can be in.
What were your first impressions of Coach Shebist in that recruiting process?
The first impression I had of him was I love his enthusiasm towards special teams. I love how much attention he gives to his specialists. I didn't know as much about him as I probably should have, because when I started doing my research and looking into him, I see all these guys that have been under him as kickers and punters, guys that are in the NFL now, Jake Elliott. Like, I'm a Eagles fan, so that's a guy I look up to a lot, and Coach Shebist coached him at Memphis. So for me, it's a big tell that he knows what he's doing, and that's definitely a guy that I want to play for.
What should Purdue fans be excited about seeing the special teams unit compete in a couple weeks?
they should look at what they did at UNLV. I mean, 6 block punts. The stats speak for themselves. Like, this team is being pushed to use special teams as an X factor, and that's something a lot of schools probably don't do. So I think we're going to get after it on special teams, and that's definitely going to be a strong point for us.